Then, you can bounce back from adversity if you have the tools to transform your life.
Facing adversity is inevitable. Overcoming it is possible with these simple steps.
Cheryl Hunter is a best-selling author and stress expert who's made it her life's work to understand how some people can recover from adversity while others never do. She has worked with Holocaust survivors, 9/11 first responders, and war veterans. She shares her personal experience and her journey back to freedom.
Facing adversity can really shut us down, which impacts our health, causes stress, keeps us from sleeping. It impacts our health in a number of ways. I became an expert in bouncing back unwittingly. As a teenager, I decided to leave home. I grew up on a horse ranch in the middle of the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. And as I wanted to get out and see the world. I rounded up a friend and we went to Europe together. And no sooner did we get to France than a man with a camera around his neck approached me. He said he could make me a model if I went off with him. And I thought, this is my chance. I can stay in the big city. Well, it turns out that they weren't photographers, they were criminals. They held me in an abandoned construction site, and you can kind of fill in the gory details with your mind. But after several days, they left me for dead. They dumped me in a park in Nice. That's where the real fight for my life began. The thing that was shocking to me was, once I was free, physically speaking, I still felt captive. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I thought, I'm free, the world should be my oyster, I should be happy every day. But I felt nothing like free. I decided I was gonna have to crack the code on getting back to normal. I became fascinated with freedom and started studying it. And I became fascinated also with how some people overcome adversity while others never do. Now, if you think, well, what does this have to do with me? I've never been abducted. I likely never will. Here's what I learned on my journey back. We all face captivity. It's part of the human condition. We all endure circumstances we would never have chosen for ourselves. And when we do, we become captive to our mind and go to war with our own nature. And so I decided to leave breadcrumbs on my own journey to freedom, and I created an educational framework that anybody can use to overcome adversity.
There are strategies people can use to take control of their lives.
I created an educational framework called the Break Free Formula. Here's how it works. 4 simple steps. FREE stands for Find, Rewire, Envision, Execute. First, you find where you're captive, where you have no freedom to be or you're imprisoned by your mind. Next, we rewire that by simply looking at where did you get stuck in the first place. That moves you back into your thinking brain and you can take back your life. Then you envision, what would life look like if this hadn't happened and I was free to accomplish anything? And then finally, simply execute the plan. My proprietary approach comes from firsthand experience, and I can tell you it works. After I decided to apply the Break Free formula to myself, I became a model anyway, and by the time I was 23, I'd lived in 7 countries, been featured in every major magazine franchise, and I was the worldwide Coca-Cola girl. Yes, I was my own first case study, but now I've also, in the past 20 years, coached and led programs to over 250,000 people. You don't have to stay stuck. You can bounce back from adversity. It's possible. To learn more, you can go to CherylHunter.com. Obviously, in this short conversation, I can't give you everything about it, but I've got lots of free videos and content letting you know how you can apply the Break Free formula in your own life.